Good day, everyone. This is Meredith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine. Today, we are in for an amazing topic of conversation with this woman that I just happened to find because her PR person was just fabulously enough to contact us and talking about my favorite topic, and you probably hate it, finances. Jessica Perrone, and she is the founder of HerFinIQ. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Hey, hi Jessica, how are you?
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
It's an honor to have you. Like I was saying in the intro, that finance is the most taboo thing to talk about. Finance and romance don't seem to work together, but they seem to butt heads. But at the same time, it's one of the major reasons why divorces are taking place, or at least when you're sitting in front of your lawyers, what are you boxing about? She spent too much, he spent too much, or he bought a car, she spent too much on the Christian Louboutins or something else. And if you come from the old school like I am, that was just not a topic you talked about. You didn't talk about money, and you
No.
definitely didn't talk about money at the dinner table. You didn't talk about money, religion, and politics. So, at what point do you ever talk about any of these things? So, I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
Please, again, tell us the name of your company. How long have you been doing it? We'll start with those two first.
Okay, well, thanks. Thank you again for having me today. I'm so excited to talk about this, and I'm excited to talk about it as well. And people are like excited to talk about finance because I actually think finance can be fun. It doesn't have to be anxiety causing at all. And I know a lot of women out there have anxiety talking about these topics. So I'm Jessica Perrone, the founder of HerFinIQ, and I am making finance approachable. So I've created a curriculum that teaches women about personal finance, getting ready to invest, even the different ways to put your monies to work, and the about stocks and ETFs and stock market sectors as well. So the whole kit and caboodle that helps you get your money to work and get it in order, lay that foundation, and also be able to speak the language of finance. And I feel that that is the part that really trips up women in relationships and in the conversations, is doubting themselves in the ability to understand finance. But it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't.
Now, has it always been an easy language, understanding of language for you? Because some people will say, "Oh, you've been to Wall Street. Of course you know what you're talking about. Of course you know whatever."
Well, thank you so much for asking that question. That's a great question because I'm actually the oldest of 8 children, and we did not have the money conversation growing up, just like a lot of women out there. We barely had enough money for food, believe it or not. And it wasn't really until I got into corporate life and had some mentors that started telling me about how I can invest my own money, whether it's a 401k, whether it's a stock, an employee stock purchase plan. But once I actually got into finance and I started learning the language myself, I didn't have the finance background. So I did pick it up, but the way I was taught, I had to step back and say, whoa, 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 I don't understand this. Can you please, explain this in a way that I can understand this? So I went on this journey, learning how to trade and invest my own money. And 20 years later, I am a successful investor, and I've created this curriculum that helps women understand this language that they're so afraid of.
Now, where do you think that fear comes from? Did you ever think about that? Like, where is that fear?
I think it's just doubt. It's self-doubt. There's also studies that finance also obfuscates the language of finance to make it sort of hard to understand. But also, I feel like it also comes from the household. It comes from people, like you said, not having those money conversations. Like in my household, we didn't have that money conversation. So it's almost like if you've never been to the lawyer for the first time, you might be afraid to go to a lawyer. Or if you've never been to a dentist for the first time, you might have a little bit of anxiety going to a dentist. I do like to think of, a financial advisor as just another tool in your health. Your dentist is for your teeth, right? Your hairdresser is for your hair.
Right,
And your
exactly.
financial advisor is for your financial wellness. I
Right.
mean, there's different levels of wealth, and different levels of wealth and savings and foundations are can be put to work in different ways. Not always with a financial advisor. I'm going to use a financial advisor as a talking point here, because I feel that that's one place where men and women don't come together often enough to go together to the financial advisor.
And I think that was probably we can probably say that a few years ago, before 2020, it was a very rich white demographic of people that was talking about it. And now I'm noticing, even on social media, that every culture is talking about financial wellness and wealth and who has. Yes, we know about Forbes and Fortune magazine, and they always seem to highlight the big wigs, of a corporate company, of the big Coca-Cola, the GMs,
Right.
and everything else. They don't talk about the everyday people like you and I, small businesses, women, and family. So I think we never thought we can be in that space, or we should be in that space. So it
I,
was, you
yeah,
think it might be a little bit intimidating? That's why people stayed away from financial advisors?
yes, absolutely. I mean, I'll even think when I started my investing journey, I was afraid of financial advisors as well, because I was embarrassed by my lack of knowledge, because I felt like it was something that everyone else knew how to do, but I didn't, right? But
Right?
yeah, for sure, for sure. So it just takes time to learn, and it takes time to understand. But it doesn't take as long as you think. I've created a course that breaks down these lessons into before investing, investing for beginners, and stocks and ETF simplified. And basically, with these three courses, you have the understanding as a woman to go and have a conversation with a financial advisor.
Wow, you're dropping some information for thing. Mhm. So tell us, give us these courses that you have set up.
Yes.
Where can they find it, and how much do they cost, and where can they take them?
So I've developed a online learning platform. It's video modules. They can access it 24/7. And
Oh,
there's also live discussion in the platform. So as you're watching the modules, you can actually ask questions and I'll respond to them within the platform. Women also do hire me for one-on-one coaching and also relationship coaching as well. So it really just depends on where you are in your journey and where you would like to go, and just how much help you need in that journey as well.
oh, that's amazing. Now, where are you based?
So I am based just outside of New York City
Okay.
in a small town called Gladstone. When I was in finance, I lived in New York City myself. I love the city, and I'm actually just a train ride to New York City. But yes, I am in Gladstone, New Jersey. But Zoom really allows my client base to be all over the US.
Oh, the world for that matter.
Well, I guess budgeting, I never thought of it that way, but investing basics and budgeting and debt, I mean, these are international concepts.
Yeah.
It's just that on the investing side, my knowledge base is US based companies and US based stocks, not necessarily international stocks. So that's sort of where my like sweet spot is when it comes
Right.
to investing.
But the language of money and preparing people to, there has to be a preparation to before
Exactly.
you invest. You just can't say, oh, I have an extra $100, so I'm just going to throw it there. So we still have to understand how money works. And I think that's the other thing is people don't understand how money works. Are you working for money, or is money working for you?
Love
I
that.
think that's a question we need to ask ourselves, and and we have these conversation at different stages in our lives, because how I spent money at 13 isn't how I spent it at 16. It wasn't how I spent it at 25, and it wasn't at 35, and it's definitely not at 50. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things come into consideration when we have that money talk. So can you help us prepare for the money language, and what are some tips you would like to give to our readers and viewers?
Sure thing. So yes, absolutely. You are so spot on about the foundation you need to lay before investing. Absolutely. And so that's sort of why I have broken up my courses into before investing, investing for beginners, and then stocks and ETFs simplified. So the before investing is I made this phrase up. It's called the financial ducks. You're getting your financial ducks in a row so that you're creating a surplus so that you can start investing. And in these courses, I talk about budgeting, I talk about savings, I talk about even shopping for an APY on a savings account. Like I didn't know that, frequently the bank in my community is not going to give me as high an APY as an online bank.
Mm,
And you could be losing out on interest on your savings. Women don't know that you can shop these financial instruments. So that is all part of the before investing course. And then investing for beginners is, you've gotten your financial ducks in a row, and now I want to start investing. What are those things that I need to think about? What is that language I need to start learning? Just like you said. And so once you sort of decide which avenue you want to put your monies towards, then you have to understand how they or you are going to be putting your monies to work. And that's where stocks and ETFs and stock market sectors come into play. And really, that aspect will allow you, after women take my courses, they actually are able to read their 401k statements or their financial advisor statements. Like
and
this is the
understand
type,
it.
and understand it and understand it. Yes. Yeah, amazing, right? Um, and that's really so important when it comes to relationships, is just having money conversations. And sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's hard to initiate that money conversation. So what I like to say is, baby steps. Baby
Right.
steps, just try, just start somewhere. There's never going to be a good time to have that conversation. Though I do know some people that, create date nights even to say, hey, we're going to talk about it at this point in time. But the only thing I caution about that is that sometimes anxiety leading up to that event can sort of add a not so nice spin to it. So sometimes just an impromptu, like 10-minute conversation. But also timing. Timing is so important as well. If either of you are just not in the mental mind frame and you're like, honey, can I buy XYZ? And they're thinking about a big presentation, you know what? That's not a good
Use
time.
discernment, using discernment before you jump in and say, hey.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I do have a really fun tip for like an icebreaker for that for that money conversation in a relationship. So there's something called a money script. And it is actually the phrase is coined by a psychologist, Brad Klontz. And so he's created this concept where it says that money scripts are deeply ingrained beliefs about money that stem from our childhood that we probably didn't even know we have.
Mhm.
So this quiz will allow you to see what your money script is. And it's if you take it individually and then come together and start talking about it, it can really give great insight into both of your attitudes towards money. And is there a way to like share links with the viewers here, or should they just Google money script
Oh,
test.
well, they'll be able to get it when we write our piece. So what we're gonna do is this video is gonna run on our YouTube channel and social and
Yay.
Instagram. Yay. And then we're gonna write an article for the website so that with certain points, especially the tips that you're gonna give. So, and then they'll be able to contact you if they want, personal one-on-one information. So we definitely want them to have the tools they need to be able to prepare for their wedding. It's not just about, hey, buy this pretty dress, go on that great vacation. It's more about, all right, before you start spending, let's prepare. Did you talk about money? How much
Yes. And
really
or did you get financially naked?
I naughty, naughty, naughty.
Naughty, naughty, darling. We're getting financially naked, darling.
Are those the main tips that you have for us, or are there a little bit more?
Well, so another thing that I like to mention is to be accommodating,
Mm.
and also sensitive, I guess. Sensitive. I actually like that even better. Sensitive.
Mhm.
Being sensitive in a relationship when talking about money, is very helpful in a relationship. A lot of arguments stem from money. And
Especially when it's between the 1st and the 15th of the month when all the bills are coming in and then the paycheck is trailing behind, and you're like, wait a minute, the check didn't come in or this, that. And then all of a sudden, the kids, if families have kids, the kids need this, and that's all the time. That's 24 hours.
all the time, all the time. Yeah. But that's where budgets come in too. It's
Absolutely.
really super important to establish a budget as well between the two of you. So when you're when you're having these financial conversations, creating the budget and also creating a surplus, not only creating a budget for like, okay, we are breaking even, that doesn't get you ahead and build wealth in your family. Right. So, in order to get ahead, you actually have to try to create a surplus there that you can start saving and investing and saving for not just investing, but also fun things like trips and cars and experiences that you are going to have together.
Your kids' college, your kids' graduation, your kids' wedding. Oh my God. And
Yes.
on and on.
Yes.
And the worst, the thing that nobody wants to talk about worse than money is when one of you are no longer there and you've lost a salary, and now you're forced to take care of everything on your own. We're not even going to talk about divorce because we're still trying to get married. Um,
Yes.
you know,
Keeping it positive.
yeah, we're going to keep that, but we need to have these money conversations, So I would love to send our readers and viewers to your website so they can learn more. But I would like to invite you to come back again and
I
let's
would
further
love
this
that.
conversation. I almost feel like this needs to be an ongoing conversation. I don't
Yes.
know if it's going to be bi-monthly or something, but these people, we need it. I need it, every now and then, we're such in a such sensitive area with the bridal magazine. We're in the luxury space, but we're talking to luxury people, but at the same time, people that want to be in that space in the luxury.
Yes.
Everybody aspires to have beautiful, nicer things, but does everybody have the money? And does everybody have the roadmap to get there? And I almost feel like your platform, HerFinIQ, might be that platform that could help guide them and not make me feel like I'm crazy, but help me to start with the baby steps, like you said. So,
Absolutely. Baby steps to advance, like the whole gamut for sure. And it does take baby steps. And everybody's financial journey is personal. Like it's different, it's individual. And so you have your own journey. And now you have a journey of two people, right?
right.
So even creating that financial harmony and that financial conversation is so important in creating harmony, not in the relationship as well. And Meredith, another thing, just a thinking out loud, since we're talking these thinking ideas, if anyone wants to tag me in YouTube that's watching this video, that at HerFinIQ, or tags me in Instagram, I'll respond to the questions in the chat if they want to. All they have to do is tag the HerFinIQ, and I will personally answer those questions.
Fantastic. Can you give us the website so that people can follow you?
Sure. Can I, so it's www.her, her, like me, fin, like financial, fin, IQ. And that's also my social handle is at her fin IQ, and also social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
Fantastic. So I want to thank you for this conversation. I didn't know it was going to be so in depth, and I wish we had more time, but that's why I think you need to come back and we can talk about it on a more consistent basis, because this is not a one-shot deal.
No, it's not. And I'm going to be putting up a resource just for this interview. So I made it just for us. And it is the Love and Money free resource. It's almost done. And it's the top financial questions to ask a romantic interest.
Woo!
Woo! So I'll be putting that.
We ask it on the first date or the second date?
Well, actually, it's broken up into 2 pages. The first one is when you're getting to know them and before you tie the knot. So I actually have both pages there. And so that it will be available as well. So I'm really excited.
I'm
And if you,
excited. Thank you.
yeah, I'm so excited about this conversation. Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. So guys, there you have it. We're going to have the money talk, and I really want to see if we can have this money talk on a more consistent basis. Please follow Jessica, and we're going to put down all her website information, read the upcoming article, and this will be continuous. And we might invite her to do an Instagram live so she can take over our page and talk to you guys. So thank you again. And please stay tuned, and everyone have a good day. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao.